social entrepreneurs have a place in the faculty, in management faculty here at the Universidad de Los Andes. And probably you are thinking about what does it mean. You can imagine a spectrum that goes from the business enterprise, that's the enterprise that were created in order to make some kind of profit, money. And in the other side of the spectrum, you can find the philanthropist initiatives. That means that enterprises, or not really enterprises, that organizations that are trying to make some kind of work in order to alleviate some social problems in the world. This kind of organization in the other side of the spectrum are related with make something good for other people in the world. But I'm working in the middle of these sides of the spectrum. Social enterprises are related, or social business are enterprises that were created in first place to deal with some kind of social problem. But probably you need to assure the financial survival of this enterprise. And for that reason, these enterprises are in the middle of the spectrum. I'm thinking about big problems, but I'm conscious that I didn't work with a big problem. I need to take a little part of this problem. Probably you have been in a predicament sometimes. Do you usually give alms? What do you do when you are in a restaurant and a little kid comes to you and you are, for example, with your kids or your family, and this boy or this girl asks you for money? You ignore them, you try to give some money, you give food, or what kind of thing are you doing in order to alleviate that situation? And there is a lot of discussion about how can you manage this great problem in the world. Probably one of the most big problems in this kind of social problems in the world are poverty, hunger, and problems with the level of education of people. United Nations have established some objectives for the Millennium Objectives, and they are related with these big problems. The first one is eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. The second one is related with achieve universal education primary. The third one is promote equality, gender, and empower women. The first one is reduce child mortality. The 5 is improve maternal health. 6, combat HIV/AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. 7 is ensure environmental sustainability. And finally, the 8 is global partnership for development. My project is probably around the 8 topics, but mainly about the 8 and 7. 8. Global Partnership for Development. In order to make some kind of contribution to solve this problem, we are trying to need to understand that 3 sectors need to be working together. The public is in Spanish, I correct? Okay. Private and third sector. Clear for you. Okay. And thinking about this relation, we can find some kind of intersection between these sectors. And when I'm talking about alliances, in order to improve social innovation impact, I'm thinking about the 2 or 3 of these sectors are working together in some kind of initiative. And around this thinking, Zeppelin University, that's a German university, and Siemens Foundation are working together in a project. The project is called IRENE-C. That is the International Research Network for Social Entrepreneurship and Empowerment. And my project is one of the projects that are part of this big network. My hypothesis is that working together could be better than working alone. But if you are thinking about theory, there are a lot of theory about strategic alliances, that are alliances working for profit enterprises. And we are trying to bring this theory from alliances to social alliances. And the idea that this kind of social alliances that is the work between these three sectors that I told you before, put scanning the impact of social innovation in a best way, that if you are working with another kind of arrangement or organizational arrangement in order to work with these big problems. What does it mean, impact of social innovation, or impact of innovation of social enterprises? Probably the best way to understand the difference is when you have a for-profit enterprise for money, the objective is make more money. And in this case, the objective is make a big change in social arrangements. It could be, if you want to make a parallel between both of them. The sample for this project is were selected in two of the countries of the participants of the project, and these are Colombia and South Africa. And the cases are Engineers Without Borders. Did you know there is a capital chapter here? And there is South Africa in Cape Town. Sendes and I Foundation are the other two cases in Colombia, and the Dala Project and Ashoka are the other two cases to be studied in South Africa. The cases were selected according to four criteria. The criteria were they need to be an alliance according with the Seidalini's definition. That means that the first purpose of the alliance should be social, not for profit. Second one, have a measured social impact. And third one, develop some activity in order to scale up its social impact, because we are trying to look how is the best way to scale the impact of these social initiatives. At the end, I listened to one of the participants of the alliance have developed activities in sector education. I don't have enough time to introduce you a little bit about each of the cases, but the idea is all of them have some relation with education. Could be for old people or for kids. The idea about the methodology is in this field, I am engineer, and I understand if the engineers here present feel that it could be a little bit in the stratosphere, because we need in this field mix probably two approaches, the qualitative and the quantitative. But you need first to corroborate the hypothesis with the qualitative approaches through the interview surveys or something like that. And after that, try to prove, in the ideal scenario, try to prove these results of the hypothesis with some database. And make some kind of quantitative approach. For that reason, I have here two parts. The first is you take the information from the alliances, use some qualitative methods. After that, you have some results about the hypothesis. After that, you take again the hypothesis and some database. And after that, you make some model, could be a multivariated model, and obtain some results that can compare with the results obtained in the qualitative part of the methodology.
Julia, why you select a mixed approach in your research?
I really feel that the field in social entrepreneurship is really rooted more in cases approach, qualitative.
Yeah.
But the trends in the field are is necessary now to start to make some kind of quantitative approaches to give more strong roots to the field. But I think it's more that I feel could be better if we start to thinking about quantitative approaches for this kind of research, because the audience sometimes need those. But I have worked in the past a lot with qualitative approach, and I think it's not that easy approach. But I think could be together could give us more convincing tools in order to spread the results of the field.
Okay, I think that you first need to construct, build your hypothesis with the qualitative approach. With the qualitative approach, now test your hypothesis. And then this hypothesis you test this hypothesis, that hypothesis with the quantitative approach.
Yes, I agree, but my advisor. It's not an authority argument. Just I agree with the advisor, because now I understood after the review of literature that I need to have some kind of initial approximation to the hypothesis, but I agree with you. I need to look for the cases, extract information, and after that propose the hypothesis.
Okay.
And after have this hypothesis, go into the quantitative approach.
And these two hypotheses.
Yes.
So I had a little bit of a question about you said you're going to collect quantitative and qualitative data eventually. Could you tell us a little bit more about what kinds of tools you're going to use to collect the qualitative data?
Yes, I'm thinking, because I should explain you, I asked Nicole, I'm really working in that moment in this research, and I exposed like in a past tense, because I need to training in order to give a conference as if I had been done. But I'm thinking that it could be surveys and some kind of in-depth interviews, and probably some information about that would be in secondary sources about the organization that I will planning to work with.